step here. And you ever walk around this side?
We never went in this building.
Watch your step here. Watch your step, folks. It's steep here, so watch your step. Watch your step.
Did you come to the city of concrete?
Yeah, well, actually, I was running with two variables. Were you here?
Yeah, we came down and walked around.
Yeah.
What amazes me is how much concrete.
Yeah.
It's unbelievable.
So this section here, when we get up a little further, I'll tell you more about it. But this section here, you can see the white lines along here, these studs, the steel studs that went into the concrete. This is where the belts were. There was conveyor belts that took either the barley or the malt, because they could store them into either one of the two bins. And this took them over to that elevating system where they would elevate back up again. We had three main belt systems, 3 aisles, this one here, the next one, and there's one more over farther. This section in here, and you'll see a little bit of the difference with we talked about the concrete, but the base, these are all rectangular bases. The hoppers are a little different size. This was 1922 when the first deal was made. We had 500,000 bushels of grain or barley that we could store at that time. So then we move over to this section. Now it's 1933. We had another 500,000. We had over 1 million bushels of storage once this was completed. You'll see a little bit different. These pillars or columns were actually cast, and there was iron forms that they used to cast these here. This was 1933 is when all of this was built.
And you know how they shipped it in. I mean, they had a pump, some system.
Yeah.
It's all those pumps and filters. Oh, that's amazing.
So when we look up at this is interesting here too, is we talk about everything, a lot of this stuff being manual. Well, even when Genesee was still running this, they still use this. This is all manual. This would turn this gear. The gear runs that plate, and that plate would open and close the main shoes to the side. And then from there we go down, and again, these are even hand. These shoes were all of this was operated by hand. Now, what's interesting is we all know that they have brewmasters. The brewmaster is actually the guy who decides how the brewing can be done, whether it can be a lager or a dark beer, light beer, so on and so forth. So they also have a malt master. So the idea behind all of this, you see all these different shoots and everything going on, is that the malt master knew what his customer wanted. So originally when I mentioned that the grain comes in, the barley comes in, and they load it into the silos at the top. And then what they do, the first thing they do is they weigh it. The second thing they do is they grade it, A, B, C, so on and so forth. And the next thing they do after that is they bring it to the cleaning house where they clean all the chaff out of it so that they have a clean kernel. All right, so now it goes into these different bins, and the same thing with the malt too, because they could test the malt for the moisture content. We talked about that. So the malt master knew what his customer, maybe it's the brewmaster of Genesee or some local brewery, and he knows what this guy wants. So he would tell the workers, we need 5,000 bushels out of silo A, and so on and so forth. They blend, and they can actually blend and mix the different malts, barleys, and everything. That was probably, I think they have an event going on. They have different events here. These guys were at City Night, which was a big event here. And every once in a while what they'll do is they'll have, and they invite geese. But they'll do different events. They had a wedding here yesterday, and Rick Smith will do different events. So with that, if anybody wanted to take any more pictures, what we're going to do is we're going to walk over to Marina. Already.